What is going on, IE Sports Radio fans? It is your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again with another special edition of the premier professional wrestling podcast on the airwaves today. Of course, I am talking about the IE Wrestling Show. Follow me on the X at IE Wrestling Show. That's at IE Wrestling Show. Please follow IE Sports Radio at IE Sports Radio. Check out our awesome website. Go to iesportsradio.com. You can sign up for free, and you can actually interact with all of our hosts. Check out some past episodes if you're trying to catch up on anything that you've missed out. If you love what we do, if you want to support the page and support IE Sports Radio, do us a favor and check out our merch shop. Buy yourself a hat, buy a t-shirt, buy a jacket. Throw some shekels our way so we can keep the lights on and keep entertaining all of you loyal listeners. Also, please give an awesome shout out and check out planetjerky.net, the official sponsor of IE Sports Radio. This jerky is on a whole other planet. Ooh, yeah. But man, guys, it goes without saying what a fucking epic weekend it was this past Saturday night in Chicago. Of course, I am talking about the return of CM Punk to the WWE. How fucking crazy is that? What a world we live in today. Triple H is in charge of the WWE. It is making the most money it probably has ever made in the last 10, 15 years. Randy Orton is back. Also, Randy Orton, the return of the Viper, the Apex Predator, showed up bigger and better than ever. He looked like a fucking Terminator. He was super yoked and jacked. He's back after almost 2 years on the shelf with a devastating back injury, against doctor's orders and against what his father, the legendary Hall of Famer Cowboy Bob Orton, said in an interview a few months back, that Orton was told never to wrestle again. Somehow, someway, Randy Orton is back in a WWE ring once again. But man, the electric feel of that crowd in Chicago in the Allstate Arena when CM Punk's music hit. You first heard the opening chords of Living Colour's Cult of Personality, that fucking awesome song. I fucking love that song, even before CM Punk started using it as an entrance theme. But man, when we heard those opening chords, the fucking place lost their fucking minds, and I did as well. I had just pulled in to work. I was on my way to work on Saturday night. I pulled in to the parking lot. I'm sitting in my car watching the final moments of Survivor Series, thinking nothing of it. Triple H used that nice secret ploy that he always used on us back in the NXT days, where the copyright graphic would pop up in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. I was ready to turn my phone off and head inside to work, and then as soon as I saw it, CM Punk name come across the screen, that music hit, and there he was, fucking Phil Brooks himself, CM Punk walking out to the ring at the end of Survivor Series. What the absolute fuck, guys. I just can't even imagine. I wish I could have been in that crowd for that moment, because it was just, mwah, it was just that fucking amazing. It was special. In the biggest part about it was, in my mind, I just kept thinking about, man, Tony Khan has got to be shitting himself right now. CM Punk's former boss, the cokehead head of AEW, All Elite Wrestling, that fucktard. I am so glad that CM Punk is no longer a part of that company. It's mismanaged to this day. AEW is on the downfall. They lost Jade Cargill. They lost Brian Pillman Jr. Those two superstars, they are superstars now because they're a part of the WWE. They look like $1 million fucking dollars in just a few short appearances on WWE TV than their entire careers in AEW. And now you got CM Punk is back where he belongs in the WWE. There's a lot of AEW neckbeards out there on Twitter and Facebook and anywhere else you can think of that are crying their little eyes out still from this Saturday. Like, how could he do that? He was a real wrestler. He was working for Tony Khan. He's the best booker of the year. That's what Dave Meltzer says. Well, fuck Dave Meltzer too, because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, because not Dave Meltzer, not Sean Ross Sapp, not Brian Alvarez, no one could have predicted that CM Punk was going to re-sign with the WWE. Hell, Triple H didn't even know until this past week. Literally, this deal was made within 6 days of the event. CM Punk didn't even sign on the dotted line until they were in Chicago for Survivor Series. So it really came down to the wire. Somehow, some way, Triple H and CM Punk were able to put aside personal differences, old grudges from over almost 10 years ago. CM Punk, back in the WWE nearly 10 years to the day, he walked out on the company the day after the Royal Rumble in 2014, never to be seen again, or at least that's what we assumed. But Triple H, you know, this business, I always say never, and Triple H is definitely one who says that. The former head of the WWE, Vince McMahon, always said never say never, because it's absolutely true. A lot of guys who have burned bridges or seem to have burned bridges with the company, or vice versa, the company has burned bridges with them, somehow they have always been able to cycle back and bring them back into the fold, back into the family, and they always welcome them, quote unquote, and cliche it up. They bring them back home. Prime examples, Bruno Sammartino, who said he would never, ever be a part of the WWE again after what Vince McMahon did to the wrestling business whenever he expanded to the national and international scene. Bruno Sammartino is in the Hall of Fame of the WWE, and that relationship was repaired by none other than who? Triple H. You have Bret the Hitman Hart, who is a two-time WWE Hall of Famer, who said he would never step foot in a WWE ring again after the Montreal Screwjob of 1997, and the untimely death of his brother Owen Hart back in 1999. But somehow, some way, time heals all wounds. Well, maybe not all of them, but certainly personal, professional grudges have been healed, because Bret Hart is still a member of the WWE family. Before his untimely death, after getting entered into the WWE Hall of Fame, nobody thought the Ultimate Warrior would ever come back to the WWE. But lo and behold, the year that CM Punk left the WWE was also the year that the Ultimate Warrior came back into the WWE family and reconciled with a lot of superstars that he had a lot of beef with. He reconciled with Jake the Snake Roberts. He reconciled with Hulk Hogan. And he reconciled, of course, with Vince McMahon before his untimely death that following weekend, or the following Monday after the Hall of Fame and WrestleMania weekend. Goldberg. Nobody thought Goldberg would ever go back to the company after his disastrous 2003 into 2004 year with the WWE. He did not want to resign after that first year. Things just did not go his way. He felt he was not booked correctly, and I definitely believe that as well. That first year was not handled well on either end, to be honest, but who knew that in 2016, Bill Goldberg would be defeating Brock Lesnar in less than 5 minutes at a Survivor Series, and he would be back in the company. He would gain at least 2 or 3, I think it was 3, maybe 2, I think it was 2 Universal Championships out of it, putting over some young talent as well. Nobody thought that Goldberg would ever come back to the company. Hell, nobody thought Sting would ever sign with the company. And at the end of the 2014 Survivor Series, that same year that Punk left the company, he showed up and became a WWE superstar for the first time, leading to his Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I know that Sting is a part of AEW currently, but hey, a lot of these times where people would say never, the never became more of a turn of phrase, I guess, nothing that you could take literally, because all of these past superstars who have had beef with Vince McMahon, who've had, a bad taste in their mouth, that had their good name sullied, whatever you can think of, they all somehow were able to put aside differences and do what was, quote unquote, best for business. And now CM Punk and Triple H apparently have done that. And if you believe anything that Dave Meltzer says, which I tell you, you should take with a gigantic grain of salt, if not a giant cup of salt, because Dave Meltzer shoots more, bullshit out of his ass than anything I can think of, because a lot of the times he is very, very wrong. But he states that Punk's contract is for at least 3 years. I would like to say that's probably true. I mean, we won't really know the terms of that unless, like, Triple H or CM Punk himself, disclose that information, to us fans, which they really don't need to. But now this is really gearing up for one of the biggest WrestleManias ever. CM Punk is back toward the end of the year. We've had the final pay-per-view for the WWE's main roster, which was Survivor Series. And now we have a 2-month build till we get to January 27th, which is the road to WrestleMania, that's where the road to WrestleMania will begin. From the Tropicana Fieldhouse, it will be the Royal Rumble. And I gotta say, if CM Punk isn't going to have a one-on-one match with someone at the pay-per-view, CM Punk is going to be in the Royal Rumble match. And now you got a lot of fans going nuts, thinking about what's going to happen with Cody Rhodes last night on Raw announcing his his entry ballot into the Royal Rumble. We want to see Cody finish the story. I still think they should steer the course and keep Cody Rhodes as the main focus. Cody Rhodes is still the biggest babyface in the company, even with the large welcome reception that CM Punk received in Chicago. Of course, he's Chicago-made Punk. He's from Chicago. Of course, he was going to get a huge reaction, but he got an equally huge reaction in Nashville last night at Monday Night Raw. But that goes without saying. I still think Cody Rhodes is the prime number one choice to win the Royal Rumble, and then he will challenge Roman Reigns once again for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and hopefully, to God, he actually finishes the story and defeats Roman Reigns for the title like he should have this year at WrestleMania in Hollywood, but he'll have to do it at WrestleMania 40 in Philly, which fingers crossed, I hope that's where we're leading to, because Cody has been doing the damn thing. He is the guy. He is the man. He is what any company would want in a spokesman. Cody is a champion for the people. And when I say that, I mean Cody is always very personable with people. He's always taking time out to sign autograph for kids, hugging kids, giving high fives, making them feel absolutely special. Like these children that interact with Cody Rhodes, you can see it on their face that this is the best day of their fucking life up until that point. Because the biggest star in the WWE is taking time out of his busy schedule or his busy day or whatever to always say hello, hi, how you doing? Give me a hug. Let's take a picture. Let me sign an autograph for you. And even more special is when the kids in the front row are given that autographed weight belt that Cody wears around his waist while he's making his entrance to the ring. Cody always hands that to a lucky child in the front row. You got to believe that kid is going to remember that memory for the rest of his life. That's something he could tell his children and his children's children at some point. But that's why I believe Cody Rhodes is the man. He could be the face, if he isn't already, the face of the WWE come next April when WrestleMania 40 hits around. And with that said, there's going to be another monumental match that I feel like they need to start slowly building towards. It's long-term storytelling, if you really ask me, because it was in 2019 when Seth Rollins first commented on CM Punk after being gone for so long. Where Seth Rollins has been kind of like talking about, I don't really care for Punk. I don't think Punk is a good person, but he did help me out a lot. Like he's in all the negative things he would say about Punk, there was a few good things that he would say about him. But then as all this crazy shit that was coming out about Punk that happened in AEW with all the fucking dirt sheets talking about the Brawl Out fiasco and then the big old fight that happened at Brawl In this past summer. I mean, Punk was called a cancer by many, and Seth Rollins reiterated that same terminology about Punk. So I feel like it goes without saying that I really don't think it should happen at the Rumble, but who knows? I'm not the one booking the show. But if it was me, I would slow burn this all the way to WrestleMania and have the WrestleMania main event for night one be CM Punk versus Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. So Punk finally gets his main event of a WrestleMania that he never got his first time around in the WWE. And then the second night of WrestleMania's main event should be Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal WWE Championship 2. The second time they go at it on the second night of WrestleMania for the second year in a row. That's how I would book the two main events for WrestleMania this year. Punk and Rollins, night one. And you got Cody and Roman, night two. But there's so many possibilities going on now that you can think of. I would love to see CM Punk tear it up with Sami Zayn now. I would love to see CM Punk get in the ring with a Bronson Reed even. I would love to see CM Punk get in the ring with Gunther. I would love to see CM Punk get in the ring with Jey Uso. I want to see it run back, have Randy and CM Punk go at it. I would love to see CM Punk get in the ring with Drew McIntyre. I would love to see CM Punk get in the ring with Cody at some point. That would be a dope match. And I would love to see CM Punk get in the ring with either Damian Priest or Finn Balor as well. So, I mean, hell, I would love to see him get in the ring with Kevin Owens, too. That would be great. There's a lot of guys that I would love to see CM Punk get a chance to work with that he never got a chance to, because right at the time that these guys were being built up in NXT, getting ready for the main roster, Punk was gone. Punk was out of the picture. He was out of wrestling. He was training for MMA. He was training to become a UFC fighter. We all know that didn't go, so well. Even I talked, endless amounts of shit about it because I was salty about Punk leaving the company and so forth. I will admit that, because a lot of people will probably go back and throw it in my face, but I'm one to admit that, yeah, I did say that, but I was a Punk fan at heart. It was just sucked that he was gone from wrestling. I didn't understand what had happened between him and the company. I thought it was more him being childish than what was really going on, where he was not well. He wasn't going to get well unless he walked away from the company. Just like how Stone Cold Steve Austin walked out in 2002. He was in a bad place at that time in his life, physically and mentally. He had to walk away. And then when he came back, man, was the fans and myself ready to welcome Stone Cold Steve Austin back with open arms. Just like now in 2023, we are welcoming CM Punk back with open arms. CM Punk back in the company, and CM Punk already with his brand new t-shirt, which I would love for Christmas. Wife, April, just mentioning that. My wife is in the room laughing at me. CM Punk's new shirt is now the number one selling t-shirt on WWEshop.com. So, just before they all sell out, babe, just wanted to let you know that. Anyway, I'm ready for CM Punk to just really get back in the ring and to do some big things. And hell, I cannot wait for next year when WWE 2K24 comes out, the next year's video game installment of the 2K series. Because if CM Punk isn't available at launch, CM Punk is definitely going to be one of the highly sorted DLC packs for the company. If he doesn't make it in by the main game, or if he isn't available at launch, CM Punk is definitely going to be someone that they could put a nice price tag on. And if you don't pay for like the special season pass or whatever, they're going to make some big old bucks for that one DLC pack that features CM Punk. And they could do all sorts of stuff. It would be cool if they did like a different eras type of CM Punk DLC pack, like have Straight Edge Society CM Punk, have Babyface 400, Babyface CM Punk whenever he first came back as, with the Cult of Personality music, and then have heel CM Punk right before he left the company when he fought The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29 in his final WrestleMania appearance. Bald CM Punk. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. I'm not really sure. Whatever. But I digress. Man, the possibilities are endless. The future is looking bright for WWE. The future is looking bright for Randy Orton, even. The future is looking bright for CM Punk. And man, I am excited. Whew. I just talked about CM Punk for 20 straight minutes, guys. Fucking awesome. And it just makes me so happy to see that fans are taking to it. The actual real fans, not the blowhard fans of AEW who are sitting there crying, in their mother's basements, that they can't handle the fact that CM Punk is no longer a part of their company. So, tough titties, guys. Sorry. Not sorry. We're going to take a short little break, guys. I'm going to catch my breath, and we're going to hear a commercial from one of our awesome members of the IE Sports Radio family. Let's take it away. Marcos Los Great and Gloves Off. I'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy awesome white tea. They are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, IE Sports Radio fans. If you're still tuning in live on the Spreaker, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're listening on the download to one of our many platforms that we are able and available on, that's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Thank you, thank you. Please leave a like and subscribe. And if you're listening later on our YouTube channel, our official IE Sports Radio YouTube channel, please just give a like, a share, a subscribe. Just show some love. Just get the word out if you're enjoying what we do here on the IE Wrestling Show. And if you're a fan of IE Sports Radio, I do appreciate it, guys. If you're just now tuning in, the first 20-so minutes of my show I dedicated to the epic return of CM Punk to the WWE and the possibilities of what that could lead to. I am just so very excited to see CM Punk back in the WWE. Will it last forever? Who knows? Probably not. Nothing lasts forever, but while it's here, you got to enjoy it, and that's what I'm looking at it as. I'm taking it with a day by day. I'm not taking it for granted. I'm going to enjoy it while it is happening live and in color, in living color, pun intended. But let's get into some awesome news here. WWE shared this today, that WWE breaks all-time Survivor Series records for viewership, gate, and merch sales. WWE announced that Survivor Series, which emanated from the All-State Arena in Chicago, Illinois, set new records for the highest viewership, largest gate, and best merchandise sales in the event's 37-year history. That's insane, guys. Viewership for Survivor Series was up 44% versus the previous record set in 2022, the very first Survivor Series War Games, which was last year, with 17,138 in attendance. The event broke the previous Survivor Series gate record set in Brooklyn in 2021. In partnership with Fanatics, Survivor Series broke the premium live event's all-time merchandise record. Sponsorship revenue was up 24% versus 2022. In addition, The surprise return of CM Punk after nearly a decade away from the WWE further drove massive digital engagement. Punk's comeback moment has more than 71 million views across all platforms, making it the most social post in the company's history. Holy fuck, guys. People who want to say he's not a needle mover, just look at that. 71 million fucking views across all social media platforms. That is more than his return to wrestling in AEW for the first Rampage, the quote-unquote first dance. I just looked at the numbers for that video before I went live on the air. That video only sits at 17 million views. That means more people has watched his return to the WWE than watched his return to professional wrestling in general with AEW. AEW had CM Punk. They had him. He was under contract. He was their highest rated superstar on their roster. Every time he was on TV, their ratings would spike. He was their highest merch seller. He sold more merchandise than anybody in the company. He made the most money for them because he sold tickets. And what happened? Tony Khan decided to side with childish executive vice presidents who should not be anywhere near the title executive vice president. I'm talking about the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, those fucking man children who couldn't take a punch if it was, I can't think of a funny analogy to say, but, I mean, those guys have probably never been punched before for real in their entire lives, and the one time that it actually happened, they just shut down. You could tell that they are coddled and, have never had any sort of ill will towards them, legitimate ill will towards them. Same with Tony Khan, who, after the firing of CM Punk, had the nerve to go around and say that he felt that his life is in danger. His life was in danger, that he felt that CM Punk was going to hurt him or kill him or whatever. Like, to say that his life was in danger because CM Punk was angry towards him just shows you what kind of, incel Tony Khan is. That's the best word I could call him. But now he's no longer a factor, and AEW has been in the shits since firing CM Punk. AEW and their talent and their loyal fan base can cry and bitch and moan all they want. They can continue to harp that AEW sold out Wembley Stadium in London. They sold 80,000 tickets. Yeah, but the same week when they came back to the United States, they had half-empty arenas, and they still have half-empty arenas. They can't sell out an arena. They can't even give tickets away. They're doing buy one, get three free. Buy one, get two free. Just to fill up seats. And they can't even do that when they're giving away free seats. You gotta know when business is bad when you can't even give away free seats. If you can't fill a seat, with a free ass, you know what I'm saying? Just, hey, you want to sit here? It's free. And, nah, I'm good. That's bad. That's a bad sign, guys. But let's just jump into the results of Survivor Series. This past weekend. I feel like we could talk about Punk for this entire hour, but I want to give due process to the awesome in-ring action that took place at Survivor Series. A very, very solid pay-per-view. A very awesome pay-per-view. I enjoyed it from top to bottom. It was solid, good, it was great. Every match was better than the last one. And we started with the Women's War Games match. It was Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and the man Becky Lynch defeating Damage Control, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and Bayley. It was an awesome match. These women really pulled out all the stops in this match. Io Sky did this awesome trash can spot from the very top of the cage, which harkened back to a spot that she did back in one of the War Games matches down in NXT, where she did the same thing. She put a trash can over her head and leaped from the top of the cage onto the women below in the ring. That spot went off awesome. It was great. Everybody took the bump fantastic. Io looked fantastic doing it. It was great. Fantastic. And then the last moment of the match came with Bayley getting put through a table by Becky Lynch with the manhandle slam. 1, 2, 3. Team Belair, Shotzi, Flair, and Lynch get the victory in the first in the first War Games match of the night, the women's War Games match. And in the second match on the card, which was actually pleasantly surprisingly good, actually. I didn't have high hopes for this one, but man, the crowd got into it, the fans were behind them, and you almost thought for 1 second that they were really going to put the belt on The Miz. But lo and behold, Gunther still pulled it out. He is still the reigning defending Intercontinental Champion, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in company history. Gunther defeated The Miz after a 12-minute bout for the Intercontinental Championship. A very great match, a very hard-hitting match. Miz really pulled all the stops. He even had a bit of a a la Bret Hart moves in there. He really pulled out some moves that were reminiscent of Bret the Hitman Hart. One of them that stood out, and as soon as I saw it, I immediately thought, damn, that's Bret Hart's move. He put the figure four leg lock on Gunther while Gunther's legs were wrapped around the steel post of the ring. And that was a move that was famous of Bret Hart's, that he would put his opponents in a figure four leg lock while he was outside the ring and their legs were wrapped around the steel post of the wrestling ring. So that was really cool to see, a nice little nod of appreciation to Bret the Hitman Hart there. And in the third match, this was really great. A nice little shining moment in the middle of the card that was really did what it was supposed to do. It got a lot of heat on the villain of the match, which was, of course, Santos Escobar, and it brought a lot of fans, new fans, behind Dragon Lee. I feel like Dragon Lee will be the heir apparent to Rey Mysterio once he finally hangs up his mask for good. Dragon Lee could be the replacement that WWE has long searched for to replace Rey Mysterio when it comes to the Latino market of their fans and high-flying fans and luchadors, where they could have someone that could potentially, not say take on the same legacy, but at least take on the same fandom and the same position of Rey Mysterio on the card. And I feel Dragon Lee is definitely that guy. They've been searching long and wide for a replacement. They went after Mystico, who became Sin Cara, and we saw how much of a train wreck that was. Excuse me. And so that never turned out to be anything. And now Dragon Lee, after Sin Cara came Kalisto, and Kalisto, as much as WWE wanted us to love him like Rey, it just wasn't happening. I mean, Kalisto had some great moments and he had some great success while in the company. He was a former tag team champion, a former cruiserweight champion, a former United States champion, but just a lot of mishaps. He couldn't talk. I mean, he just didn't have that it factor that Rey has. But I feel like WWE has found their luchador heir apparent in Dragon Lee, and he proved it here at Survivor Series with an excellent match against Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar ended up winning the match. At first, it was originally supposed to be scheduled to be Carlito and Santos Escobar going one-on-one at Survivor Series, but they did an angle on SmackDown the night before where Carlito was taken out by Santos Escobar by being hit in the shoulder with a flying knee from the barricade, taking him out of the match for good. And Dragon Lee ended up going to SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis and asking to be the replacement for Carlito in that match. And Nick Aldis gave him the okay. And that's what led to this match of Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar. Great high-flying match. There was an awesome spot where Dragon Lee hit a Hurricane Rana from the ring apron to the floor on Santos. I really thought that was great. And then the ending of the match was pretty good, with Santos doing a tilt-a-whirl of Dragon Lee into a south of the border driver, which is south of the border destroyer. I like the way they sound. They called it that. South of the Border Destroyer, which used to be known as the Canadian Destroyer back in TNA when it was the finishing move of Petey Williams. But then that led into the Phantom Driver. Santos Escobar defeated Dragon Lee 1, 2, 3. And this crowd definitely is eating up heel Santos Escobar. His turn from face to heel came real quick. And I feel Santos actually is a better heel than he is a babyface for certain. I think he does his best work as a heel. And we're about to see his best work in the coming months for sure. Next match on the card was the semi-main event for the Women's World Championship. It was Rhea Ripley successfully defending her Women's World title against Zoe Stark. This match got off a little, I would say it started off a little slow, but then it started picking up the pace. But the crowd was definitely behind Rhea more than they were behind Zoe. And every time Zoe went for a punch, the crowd would boo, and then Rhea would return in kind, and everybody would go, yeah! You know, it'd be like, boo, and then it'd be, there you go, yeah, sorry. But yeah, that's what happened. So anyway, guys, that was the end of the end of the match came with Rhea Ripley hitting the Riptide, covering her 1, 2, 3. Zoe Stark falls to Rhea Ripley. And that's the end of the match, guys. I will be right back, guys. Stay tuned. I will be right back. I have to, something happened. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that. We're almost done with the show, but I will be right back. I'm going to put you guys on a nice little commercial from one of our awesome IE Sports Radio affiliates, and I will be right back.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernan.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your five-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
Hey, IE Sports Radio fans, I know this is live, but as is live, so is life, and something just happened. My wife just called me, and she actually just got a flat tire, and I need to leave to go help her out, guys. So I do apologize. I didn't get to finish my review of Survivor Series. I am so sorry, but as you know, when life happens, you got to just go with the flow and roll with the punches. So, guys, thank you for tuning in for this unexpected Tuesday afternoon Tuesday afternoon, morning, whatever, episode of the IE Wrestling Show. Thank you. Please just follow me on the X at IE Wrestling Show. That's at IE Wrestling Show. Follow us on the X at IE Sports Radio. And please just give us a like and subscribe for everything that we do. Thank you, fans. I will see you guys next week on the original SoCal Saint time, back on the original SoCal Saint day next Wednesday. Take care, guys.